All right, hello. So this is the page that I'm working on. And basically down here, there is a repeater, and it has different fields for the different columns of the database collection. So basically, for each research paper, I need to show the title, the citation, the image, the link, the year on the left side. And then I also want to show the publication number. So right now it looks like, let's see if it loads. Okay, right now it looks like this. And so the newest item will have the highest publication number, 100, meaning that there's been 100 papers published. And if we were to load all of them, then the very bottom-most one would have a publication number of 1. And so it just increments all the way up. And basically, I'm trying to make it so that in case inside of the database collection, in case one of those publication numbers, and the numbers are actually a column here in the database um, because that's just how I thought it would be more useful for once it was filtered, then I could still show the publication number since it was inherently tied to that specific row of the database. But um, I don't think that's that important right now. But basically, if I go into the database collection, and ideally, if maybe someone who is adding in another paper, let's say they just published a new paper and they were adding in a new one, and then maybe they got the publication number wrong. Like, let's say instead of 100, they accidentally put 200. Now, I'd want it to update automatically for them so that they don't have to actually count and see how many papers there are. Like, this would also be useful if someone had to add a paper, let's say in between number 89 and 90, and it was published like in, or like maybe between these two. Let's say there was another paper that was published in September of 2018. And so if we sort it by date, which is how I'm doing all of this, if we sort it by date, then it would be stuck between here. And so that paper would then actually be the 89th paper. The 89th paper would then become the 90th paper, and then all of these numbers would have to change accordingly. So I have some code that does actually, it checks to see what the index is, and then it'll update the database collection based on that. But I'm just trying to refresh it on the front end without having to reload the page. So right now, just to show, if I change the last one to 200, for example, and in my code, hopefully you can see this, but in the code I have, it calculates the index based on the total number of items, and then it'll update the database. And then it should refresh the data set, and this is the code that I mentioned in the post, and it should refresh the data set and then update the elements. Update elements, the most important thing is that it updates the repeater here so long as the total is greater than 0, which it should be. And then inside update repeater, there's just a for each item that should loop over each item and update it, to my understanding. And the repeater right now is connected to the data set that I'm working with. So, okay, just to show, if I click preview, so we see that the 200 there is still a 200. So it didn't get updated to 100. But if we go back to the editor and we check the database collection, and we go to the bottom and we actually check, we see that it was actually updated. It was changed to 100. It's just that it wasn't refreshed on the front end. And then if I preview again, well, now it works because it's just reloading it again. But reloading should be what the refresh function does. So that's why I'm a little bit confused. Okay, hopefully that explains my problem here.